Today is Friday, April 20th, 2018, and this is Generally Trivial.
The Generally Trivial podcast, current events, interesting facts. Yeah, it's crazy, but still so fun. Like Tinder dates when they all go wrong. And even pop-up Cheeto restaurants. Naked burglars, man, they so dumb. The Florida man, gotta watch him though. Incoming robot overloads. Can't forget about...
Hello and welcome back to Generally Trivial, where we're going to take a walk on the lighter side of current events. I am Jeff, one of the hosts here, and today with me I have Sean.
Heyo.
And Jordan.
Hello.
And guys, Sharknado 6 is coming.
Yep.
They're going back in time.
Saw that.
Are you kidding me? How does that... No.
They have to go back in time to stop the original Sharknado from happening so the world doesn't get destroyed.
Yeah. Clearly.
My gosh. What is wrong?
I kind of feel like media like ours is actually what brought this into existence, because this is something that needs to happen for us to be able to have things to talk about. Like Florida, I'm sorry what we're doing to you. We're probably speaking that into existence.
Yeah, probably true.
So, I don't feel bad. I'm going to say I'm sorry. But, you know, that this is entertaining for other people. So, you know.
You know what the real problem is, though? Like, at this point, when you're at 6, probably around 4, you really jump to the Sharknado.
Hey! That's probably true. Well, today we are going to do a little bit of Up or Down, a little bit of Did You Hear, and we're going to delve into a couple letters that got sent to us in Dear GT. Right now, we will go into Up or Down. Our first Up or Down is a new kind of condiment, or rather a spin on an old kind of condiment. Rather than cheese hogging up all the glory in single slices, ketchup slices are now a thing. So are you up or down?
I think my
ketchup slices.
I think my reaction pretty much says where I'm at. I'm down on ketchup slices. It just sounds disgusting.
Can there be like a medium place? Because I'm kind of interested in it. But I'm also scared because if they make ketchup a solid,
yeah,
what's next? Like a mayonnaise slice or like pickle relish that is a solid, not
Gross.
like a, not like a gel type or whatever.
Or liquid burger.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There you go. Exactly.
Also gross.
So the reason I like it is because most days I wear a white shirt, and if I use the ketchup condiment of sorts on fries or something,
How would you use a solid one on fries? A solid piece of ketchup?
I feel like it would have to melt. It would have to melt. But like on a burger, okay, listen, on a
You
burger.
put on nachos and throw it in the microwave.
What if they made them round for like pizza? So they made pizza sauce a solid.
You'd have to tear strips of the ketchup off and wrap it around each individual fry.
Okay, I'm like half and half on it. So I'm gonna go with I'm down.
I'm going to go with I'm up as long as it is where they stop. Because I'm with you on your idea of where does it stop. But if it stops here, I'm okay. Plus, I have a great name for it. I'm going to call it the tomato.
Good call.
But no, I don't... When I go to places, I like sometimes... I love mustard, but I like it in very small amounts. And so something like this, it's not going to be all creamy. Like, that's the main reason I don't like a lot of dishes, because of the texture. So that would kind of help me out there. So I'm up.
So do you think like maybe they're going to have purple squares and green squares? Because they had purple and green ketchup.
They did.
Heinz is actually bringing out mayo chup.
Ugh.
Bring out what?
Ugh.
For the people that mix mayo and ketchup together.
Oh my gosh, no, it's called fancy sauce. They should never... Don't mess with the name. It's called fancy sauce.
Okay.
That exists?
Yes. Ketchup and mayonnaise. It's called fancy sauce. Not mayo.
That one was pretty easy to pronounce, buddy. It's just mayo chup.
Mayo.
A man in Virginia is accepting letters detailing why he should send a happy couple the engagement ring that he purchased, that he had as a failed relationship. It was $1,700 ring, and he's going to pick one of these stories and mail it out to them. And he says, it's kind of bringing some hope and joy to his life after his dreams were crushed. So, are you up or down on this method of obtaining an engagement ring?
I'm up. I like it. I like the idea. I've seen a few of these kind of scenarios, but with houses. Someone did like a raffle for a house, but you had to write an essay and pay $100, and so
there's no money involved in this one, though.
Yeah, so I think for that reason, I'm up on it. I like the idea of it, and also Virginia is for lovers. So,
yeah, I'm gonna be down because I don't want that to be the story. Like, hey, I got married, and then they're like, Grandpa, tell us about when you proposed. I'm like, well, 3 weeks after I wrote this letter to this guy I've never met, I got the ring in the mail, and I don't know. I don't like the optics.
I'm down because that ring's cursed.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want that. Like, this is part of a failed relationship. You don't want... It's like if you proposed to a girl and it didn't work out, and then you kept the ring and used it to propose to your next girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, that feels icky, too.
Yeah, you need to take that ring to Mordor.
Right. If you're this dude, you cash that in and you treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
A bank robber took his haul and put it to good use, at least in his mind, because he took the pile of cash and tossed it over the fence of one Taylor Swift. She has a Rhode Island mansion, and he was trying to impress her. I think he was trying to say, "Hey, I wanna, get with you." So
I did this for you,
right?
I would have. Okay, I'm up on it. As long as he leaves a note that says, "Look what you made me do."
What you made me do. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna be down because it's just not gonna be a fun song that she's gonna have to write. It's about money then, and not about the relationship. It's just not as pop worthy.
I'm trying to come up with a song off the top of my head, but I can't do it.
Maybe the guy's name was Tim McGraw.
That's doubtful. But I'm also down just because if you're gonna impress Taylor Swift, I don't think you do it with money. She's got money.
Yeah.
Like, dump a sack of puppies over her fence, or
That's probably even worse, Sean.
depending on how high the fence is.
3 of them made it.
Look, this is
Give her gifts.
This is a Rhode Island mansion. I don't think she has a 4-foot privacy fence around the entire place. We're talking like maybe some sort of wall to keep
Okay, so
people
make
out.
a ramp for the puppies. And just unleash little adorable puppies all over her mansion.
Unleash.
now they sound vicious, Sean.
I want to hear this testimony after he's brought to trial. That's when I built the pumpy ramp. Sir.
It's a solid plan. Trust me, it's going to happen one day.
Sean, why do you have so many puppies?
Got something in the works.
Millennials, as they are wanting to do, are starting a new trend by placing a diamond directly inside of the skin on their ring finger instead of wearing an engagement ring. So are you up or down on this new trend of wearing a stud literally in your hand?
Is this like a piercing? Like, they have dermis piercings like on your cheeks. Is that kind of what this is? I'd imagine.
That's what it seems similar.
Or like the back. Some people do them, their hips back, whatever. I'm down on it. I think it's dumb.
I'm down on it, but I'm also down on lumping it as millennials because it's probably like 4 people who've done it, and they just happen to be in the same age group, just like the idiots who ate Tide Pods.
Thanks, Sean. I appreciate that. As a, well, not self-proclaimed, but I fall in that range of millennial. What is it, like 86 to 99
They get a bad rap.
or something?
I'm going to have to be up because you could do some wicked backhands to people with those things.
Yeah, but then what if you're like the guy who it didn't work out for? You gonna extract that thing?
Look. Now, okay, I got a situation for you. Ready? You get your finger all pretty because you got your ring on there, right?
No ring, but yeah.
You get your little diamond,
your rock.
your little rock, big old rock, 2 carats right there. You get robbed. Guy's like, "Give me your ring." You're like, "I don't have it." He's like, "Cut your finger off." Now you lose a finger.
Yeah, well.
Sucks to suck.
Lots of downsides.
Then you got a sweet story to tell.
Yeah, and now your finger more likely to get caught and smashed into something. But on the bright side, diamonds
or
are
more likely to break you out of a tough environment because it can cut through stuff.
Until your cheap boyfriend buys cubic zirconia. Embeds it in your finger.
Yeah.
Why is your finger turning green? Finally, for Up or Down, we probably should end it with Florida Man.
Woo!
This one involves Florida Man in a car theft. He was caught on camera stealing a car, only to stop a few feet later because he realized the car that he had stolen had a baby inside. He stopped, removed the baby, set it safely on the ground because it was in the car seat,
Right.
and then sped off in the car. So are you up or down on this act of possible heroics by Florida Man?
I'm okay.
Let's hear it, Sean.
I'm up on the fact that he was actually nice enough to take the baby out of the car. Although I think it would have been better if he'd at least gone by where he took the car from and dropped the baby off there on the curb. Yeah. Not just left it on a random street like, oh, there's a baby. I guess I'll stop right here by the road and drop it off.
Look, you can't return to the scene of a crime, like you're at the gas station, they're filling up, leave the car running, you hop in and go. I'm not going back to the gas station. That's where they're going to be.
But maybe you just don't commit the crime in the first place.
No, man. I need a ride. I'm up on it. I think he did a good service of...
While he was stealing someone's car.
I think he did a good service.
Okay, I'm down, and here is why.
Nope, you're wrong.
The parent and or parents that left the child in the car forfeited rights. They did not deserve that baby any longer. And by rule of the land, the car thief should have then become the father. So Florida Man just then gave up his rights again to the baby.
To whoever should find
then
it.
picked the baby up. I mean, he should have taken that child because it was then his and raised it.
Finders keepers. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
So, yeah, you don't go against the law of the land.
Legal precedent. Finders keepers.
Yeah. So that's why I'm down, because he just forsake his own baby. So.
It was only his baby for like a minute, though.
Yeah. Yeah, but, if you've got a newborn, you don't just drop it off.
Fair.
We're going to go ahead and roll into Dear GT.
This episode brought to you by brownies, dude.
Brownies.
Dude. Dear GT, a few years back I was staying at a hotel in British Columbia for work, and I went for a short walk to get the blood pumping a little bit. There was no refrigerator in the Fairmont Express I was staying at, so I left the window open to keep the pepperoni that I'd brought for some old Navy buddies to keep it cool. Well, apparently, Seagulls super love some pepperoni. The room was trash, and I've been banned from going back to their hotels ever since. It really puts a cramp into working with clients. What should I do? Crestfallen in Canada.
You tell a sweet on-the-road band story about how a band trashed your hotel room. Flock of seagulls. One time I was staying in a hotel and flock of seagulls trashed my room. It was awesome.
A flock of seagulls. Yeah, man. You've never heard of them? Oh, yeah. Totally.
It is a band.
Is it?
Yes. There's a band,
I've never heard of them.
There's a band called Flock of Seagulls.
I'm going to Google this.
80s band.
All right, here's what I say, man. Crestfallen in Canada. You need to switch to salami.
What? I thought it was going to be Switch Hotels.
Nope. Seagulls don't like salami. It's
Proven.
a proven fact.
Fact. Speaking as someone who works in the meat department, I can confirm this.
Well, Crestfallen, I think you're going about this all wrong because you're looking for forgiveness. And I think that the proper emotion that you need to be fueling yourself with right now is rage.
True.
Okay, so I need you to Michonne up. Grab you the sword that the hilt fits you the best. And you go after some seagulls. Because what they took from you wasn't just your ability to stay at this hotel. They took from you your dignity.
And your pepperoni.
And your pepperoni. So, I just need, as someone who's angry for you, I need you to go after these seagulls. I did want to read a quote, actually, that he had released to the news. This was, they immediately started flying around and crashing into things as they desperately tried to leave the room through the small opening by which they had entered. The result was a tornado of seagull excrement, feathers, pepperoni chunks, and fairly large birds whooping around the room.
That's amazing. That is the best mental picture ever.
Tornado. Feathers and feces.
Our next letter is starts off, Dear GT. Please help. I'm a nice person. I pay my taxes and I don't make a fuss. But sometimes governments do some dumb things. The government in my country recently wanted to have a little fun and promote patriotism. They installed bumps on the road that played the anthem as cars go over them at exactly 40 miles per hour. It was kind of novel at first, but I just can't do it anymore, living this way 24 hours a day. What do I do? Nonplussed in the Netherlands.
Ugh. You buy a road grader. You take care of that problem yourself. Or you buy whatever they use to do this and you fashion it into a different song. One that you like. Or you just rickroll people. I'm never going to give you up.
Yeah, I think that I would just have to move. If I were you, this is the law of the land now. There's definitely someone out there who needs some help taking out some seagulls. Just become part of that pack, man. I mean, just roll with the hand you've been dealt.
While it might be the law of the land, if he wants it changed, I say he should run for local government and change it himself. Take the high route, don't destroy anything or change it without permission first.
Both of these stories actually do have resolutions. The first gentleman wrote a letter into the hotel.
I thought they apologized.
And he's now being let back in. And the second one, they're removing these bumps from the road. But it was funny because taxis apparently would go over them as fast as they could. So it would play the song just at a really
super fast.
Yeah. And now into Did You Hear?
Hey,
Did you hear?
did you hear about this one?
Did you hear?
Did you hear about this one?
All right, so I actually have a couple things that I think are interesting that I think you guys need to hear. First one's a real small one, real short blurb. But apparently this morning in New York, 911 operator got a phone call saying that someone had seen a tiger loose in Harlem.
So somebody needs to get a hold of the zoo.
Right. So the police put out like a little dispatch thing, sent a text out to people saying that there are uncorroborated reports of a tiger loose in Harlem, and they're searching for it. Well, when they get to the area where the tiger was spotted, what they found was a really big raccoon. Apparently, the raccoon was somehow mistaken for a tiger, and that's how we get where we are with the alerts. The police, speaking on behalf of the person who called it in, said they did both. The raccoon did have stripes, so it was a simple mistake. But on another animal related news, in Argentina, there were 8 people fired from a police station.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Officers and other people, I guess. I don't think it was all officers. I think it was 4 officers and 4 other people connected with the police station in some way. They were all fired after those 8 members of the staff explained 1,000 pounds of marijuana missing
Oh my gosh.
by being eaten by mice. That was their explanation. Apparently, they did an inventory of recovered stolen goods and stuff like that. Saw there were 1,000 pounds of marijuana missing, and these people's explanation was, "I guess mice ate it." Sounds legit.
They're trying to put a rodent in the drug problem.
Exactly. Apparently, it's been in storage for more than 2 years at an impound warehouse, and I guess I don't know if they did it slowly over time, which was what I would assume. But yeah, during an inspection in April of last year, they discovered that 6,000 kilograms that were registered, there were only 5,460 kilograms remaining. So all these people have to go before a judge in May to essentially for him to determine whether it was negligence or something else. But a few people from the university in Buenos Aires and stuff like that pretty much put the kibosh on the whole mice ate the weed stuff, because they said that, first of all, the mice probably wouldn't mistake marijuana for food, but they also, if they had, would have found a lot of corpses in the warehouse
Right, yeah.
of mice who were engorged with marijuana, which weren't found. So some people are getting in trouble.
Yeah. Well, regardless of how that trial goes, they need to take it to a higher court.
Absolutely.
So, in the whole theme of 420 and also Florida Man, I wanted to talk about a guy in Florida. Now, this one's actually a nice, it has a good ending to it, but
Spoilers.
no, I didn't say anything. So, some states in the U.S. have legalized medical marijuana. They're used for medicinal purposes to treat maybe seizures, mild epilepsy,
Glaucoma.
There you go. Things of that nature that have been legalized for that purpose. Now, they don't, when it comes to medical marijuana, they can't use the whole plant. They can only use specific, maybe just parts of it, right? So, in Florida man, which is a 77-year-old man, in the article I'm reading, it tells us what his occupation is, which he's a strip club owner. I don't know what that pertains to anything, but
he is.
But he is, yeah. So the 77-year-old man recently just got, he got in trouble for growing his own marijuana because he was on medical marijuana, and he's like, well, I'm just going to grow my own.
Right.
And so he got in trouble for it. Well, the judge that heard the case said he could do it. So now he's legally growing marijuana in the state of Florida.
Sweet. He doesn't have to go to the pharmacy.
That one probably actually will get taken to a higher court.
Yeah. Yeah, more than likely.
Prosecutor's going to go after that.
Right.
My story that I'm bringing today involves something that is probably going to need some prosecution to make something happen. So, the state of Alabama, there was a place there, a town called Parrish, really small town, less than 1,000 people.
Yeah.
It stinks real bad. Right
Okay.
now. And it's not really their fault. Apparently, New York State and New Jersey have been sending tons of excrement to a place called Big Sky Environmental. They're a waste management service in Adamsville, Alabama. So, in January, courts upheld an injunction filed to prevent the poop from being stored in the town. So right now, there's just train cars sitting with just packed with poop. Lots of poop, and apparently the town's written the president. As of my last viewing of this article, no one's done anything about it. But it smells like a rotting carcass. It smells like death. If it's warmer, it's worse. If it's high humidity, it's bad. These train cars are right across the street from homes. It's right next door to a baseball field and a softball field.
Oh.
Guess what? We're about ready to hit some warm weather.
Yeah.
Hopefully no one hits a home run. You can keep that game ball.
It's a crappy situation.
Yes, it is. So, yeah, I'm hoping they do something with it. I don't know, turn it to fuel or something. But, yeah.
Look, they need to sell it to farmers is what they need to do. For, fertilizer purposes.
Yeah, you're right.
Just drive that thing off into the ocean. Just turn the tracks. Head it down towards the Gulf. Drive it off.
So I think they should make railroad tracks that go underwater. And I'll tell you what's going to happen. So the train, I don't know what they call the first car of a train, the engine, right?
Right.
So the engine is pressurized. It's waterproof. It's airtight. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out. You breathe normally. Everything acts normal. They have railroad tracks.
It's a submarine.
No, because it is on tracks. And it has wheels. And so it takes all these cars, it goes underwater, and then once it gets underwater, all the poo just floats out of it. Then you don't have to clean it. It gets rid of the stench.
Poo diving.
I think it's a fantastic idea.
I think it's great for the town, not so much for the environment.
In fact, speaking of...
Ain't no fish getting caught up in it.
Look, the water, the oceans are actually the best place to dump stuff. And I know that sounds bad. But listen. There was a study about nuclear waste management, and they're trying to get rid of nuclear waste. And they said the best place to get rid of it is in the water because the ratio would be so great that it's minuscule quantities of nuclear waste that we'd be ingesting.
You're only moderately messing with fish and wildlife and creating Godzillas.
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen?
It's just a moderate Godzilla.
You're just going to awaken the old god Cthulhu from his deep sleep. Well, what's the harm? What's the harm in that?
Kraken actually becomes real.
It's bad news. It's bad news all around. Awakening all the angry sea monsters that have been sleeping for a long time. Yep, it's all bad news.
All right, you super troopers out there, we appreciate your support and listening. Keep in mind the pod line is always open. We've had someone telling us for a couple months they were going to leave a message, still haven't done it. That's at 415-POD line. Go ahead and give that a call. We'll probably play your message on air unless, we don't like it.
Say good stuff.
Say good. I mean, you can even say bad stuff. Just say it nicely.
Right.
But today, We were Sean,
Do or do not. There is no try.
Jordan,
It's called fancy sauce.
and I am Jeff, and we are out.
It's called fancy sauce.